Alrighty, shoot.
So, welcome to Toronto. I think this is your first time here?
No, I was here a few years ago for a charity ride.
Okay.
Which started further up in like the Lake District, Muskogee.
Muskoka.
Yeah, Muskoka, that's the word, exactly, Muskoka. And I took the long route, so we started just outside of Muskoka and ended up down here in front of a women's hospital. I just can't remember the name anymore.
Here in Toronto, though?
Yeah, here in Toronto, yeah. They even closed the roads for us, and we had like police escort and finished right at the parking lot for that women's hospital. Yeah, I think that's the one, Women's College Hospital, I think, yeah. And the guy who organized it, he actually founded, like, they named a new wing after him. He's a self-made billionaire, I believe, building houses. If you say the name, it comes back to me, but I can't get the name.
Gilgan is his name.
Yeah, exactly. What's his name?
Gilgan. I can't remember his first name.
Peter, I think? Peter, I believe.
Yeah,
Peter Gilgan. He was there, yes. And so we stayed at his house up there he had. And of course, he came in fashion with the helicopter. And we did this ride, and we actually raised quite a fair bit of money, and then we did like, meet and greet and little barbecue after the ride. It was a fantastic day. So my second time in Toronto. I actually had a bit of time yesterday, and 1 second, is it snowing outside?
Yes.
Hey, that's Canada for you, right? Here we go. It's made for the tough ones. Actually, I had a bit of time yesterday, and I actually choose the zoo over the Velodrome.
Okay. I hear that you are a fan of zoos. I've been to the Frankfurt Zoo. How many zoos have you seen on this trip?
Started now 2.5 weeks ago in Dallas, Texas. I've seen this one. St. Louis Zoo in Missouri. And the Baltimore Zoo, 3 or 4 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago actually. I came here only yesterday morning. So 2 days ago Baltimore, and yesterday the Toronto Zoo. Yeah.
And I hear you're a sports fan. You also went to a Leafs game last night. What did you think of that?
Yeah, actually, I had a chance to see a NHL game with the Toronto Leafs. And of course, they told me which team I have to support here. Without getting myself into trouble. And it was a pretty exciting game. I mean, like 13 goals in total. The Leafs finally ended up winning 7-6. So that was pretty cool. It looked for a while quite challenging. They were down, I think, 5-2 at the worst. They were down here 5-2. Yeah. Then he got one goal taken away as well, because the net or the goal was moved or whatever. Where what I also learned, apparently there's a really small little gray area where then the goal or the net might accidentally be moved, or the goalkeeper, I'm not blaming any specific one, but in general the goalkeeper goes, this looks not good. The net is moved. So apparently it's hard to determine exactly how that happened. But they ended up winning. It was good atmosphere, noisy, light shows and music, and it was pretty cool.
And fireworks and things too, I think, when they score goals.
Yeah. Yep, they're really putting on a good show, yeah.
So you're now 5 years into, I'll call it retirement, but you're far from retired. Your next chapter, how's it feel? Are you enjoying it?
Absolutely. I would almost go that far to say, if I would have known how good retirement is, I would have retired 2 years ago. No, retirement is good. There's a few things obviously I missed. It's a camaraderie with the boys, being out there with the boys, having these. I mean, a bike race is much more than just a bike race, especially when it's in a foreign country or another continent, or it's a Tour de France. It's like a road trip as well. It's an adventure, and there's periods where you probably would have like 5 or 6 months where you basically spend more time with your team and teammates than with your wife and family.
Right.
So you really get a close connection. You talk about everything in life, and you probably know as much about your roommate than his wife, and vice versa, right? So I'm missing these really close relations, the intensity, like you laugh and you win together, you crash, you lose together, you freeze to death in a cold, rainy spring classics together. So you go through a lot of intensive moments and really bounce. So I'm missing that, and I'm missing the superior fitness. I miss the feeling waking up in the morning and go, I can take on the world. I'm Jens Voigt, nothing can go wrong. Nowadays, see the way it works, we still have the little one sleeping in our bed. So sometimes then in the mornings, little Helen, she wants me, hey daddy, carry me down. So from first floor, bedroom down to the living room and breakfast and all that, right? And when I carry her down these days and my back and my knees are not aching, I'm like, hey, it's gonna be a good day. So from Tour de France material to, oh, my back doesn't hurt, that's a big fall. I struggled with that.
You're still riding a fair bit, I expect.
I do ride. I try to maintain a minimum fitness at least. I do some running as well, because sometimes traveling with the bike can be a pain in the behind, right? The airlines, they charge the hell out of you. They lose the bike, they scratch it, you gotta carry it halfway across the airport to drop it off at a special check-in and whatnot. And your running shoes, you can always sneak in a suitcase, they always fit in.
Right.
So sometimes it's just easier. But yeah, I do some riding. Most of my riding these days, I do on the gravel bike.
Okay.
I obviously it's a track bike, checkpoint, because with the bigger tires, you just basically don't have any punctures. You still feel fast enough on the road that it's fun. But if you want to go off-road and you want to go through the forest, you can just turn left and go into the forest. So in a moment I use that bike for the most of my riding.
And I gather a lot of your riding and probably running is for charities of some sort.
Yes. Yes, it is. I did the Everest Challenge,
right?
For a cancer charity. I failed unfortunately, but I tried to run 7 marathons in 7 days. I had to stop after 4. I had this bacteria infection in my leg, and the leg was just swollen and my wife thought I'm gonna lose the leg, and I had to take antibiotics 6 weeks, like 1.5 months, 6 times a day. Ugh. Anyway, it's all good now. And so my new challenge, but I'm waiting for a little bit better weather back home. My new challenge, the plan at least, is you guys do kilometers here in Canada?
Yep.
Okay. The new plan is 2,000 kilometers in 7 days in 7 countries of Europe. Again, for the same charity. I always do it for the Tour de Cure, which is Australian cancer charity. And I'll be there in the beginning of May. And the plan is to do that as my fundraising bid to support the Tour de Cure.
Nice. You're also still very close to bike racing. You're a commentator at some of the bigger races, the Tour of California and the Tour Down Under specifically. You must enjoy doing that.
Absolutely I do, because I still love the sport. And it gives me a chance to be still at some of the really beautiful events or races without the suffering, without the stress, right? And honestly, 2015 I did my first Tour de France as a commentator. And only then I realized what a crazy, mind-blowing, almost inhuman adventure it is, how hard it is, and how much respect every single rider deserves just to reach Paris. Because the way it worked with NBC, I'm sitting right at the finish line, like whatever, 10, 20 meters before or after, but right there. And so I see them all coming across, and I see the team presentation, you all look happy, freshly shaved, fresh haircut, brand new clothes, a brand new bike, full of hope. And then I see them coming across the line in the last week. Oh, and they all sunburned and scratch marks and torn jerseys, and you can see they're all super skinny, the eyes almost a little hollow. And I go to my wife honey, did I ever look so tired? She goes, oh hell yeah, every time. I didn't realize. And so see the Tour de France, well now it's 1 rider less, but it starts with 22 teams, 9 riders, that's 198 riders, close to 200. Just out of experience, a quarter of them do not make it to Paris. Due to crashes, illness, whatever, something happens at home, missing the time limit. So everybody at the start knows that there's a chance 1 out of 4 he's not gonna make it. Everybody's aware of that. And so let's say roughly 150 plus or minus reach Paris. One day we had a time trial on the second last day, so there was a bit of time. So I went around to each team with a list and counted the riders they haven't crashed. I think I came up to 55 went through the tour without crashes. And some poor buggers, they crashed 3 or 4 times. I had tours where I crashed 3 or 4 times. I also had some where I didn't crash. So it's a pretty impressive adventure, and I gained so much more respect for my colleagues, but also for myself. I'm like, you have done that 17 times? Like, wow, that is not bad. Because you got so caught up in this little tunnel vision, like, okay, today is this stage. Go to the team bus, go to the hotel, eat and drink, massage, tomorrow stage. And only now when you're a little bit on the outside, you try to look at the whole adventure, the whole picture, and you go, that is just mind-blowing. 3 weeks, whatever, 3,500 kilometers. I never realized what a challenge that is until I saw it from the outside.
And you've done it, and done it, and done it.
Yeah, 17 times, which adds up to, if I cut out the stages where I had to abandon the tour 3 times, came up with, I think it was 344 stages, which means almost 1 year of my life I just spent riding Tour de France. That's the moment where you then go, should I be super proud of it, or is that just the grave of my youth? Is that just something silly and stupid, or is that something where I should be proud of?
And what did you decide? Which one is it?
Well, I'm a positive person, so I gotta be proud.
Good.
Right? Just you gotta be proud.
So I have one last question for you.
Yes?
Beer or coffee?
Oh, that's not fair. Well, until 5 p.m. always coffee.
Okay.
And then evening, night, I would choose beer. An easier question is beer or wine. I would always go for the beer.
Okay.
Or another easy question would be steak or chocolate. I would always go for the steak.
Huh?
Yeah. And my little daughter Helen, she's 8 now, the youngest one. My wife just laughs at us because she goes, "You are one of a kind. Helen and me, the same, always for the steak, and we both eat like this. We protect our food and we watch the enemy that nobody can steal food." And my wife just sits there and she just shakes her head, goes, "Oh, you too." But of course we have kids that come more after my wife as well. So it's a really good mix, the kids. You can see every one of us and every single child. Sometimes more of me, sometimes more of my wife. But you can still see they are our kids, and everybody reminds you on yourself or about your wife.
And I expect that's one of the benefits of your second chapter. You get to spend more time with them.
Yes, I do, yes.
And that has to feel good.
Oh, indeed, it does.
So there's a whole room full of people.
Yes.
I'm going to let them start asking you questions.
Alrighty.
Thank you very
Yes.
much.
A man who probably needs no introduction to all of you guys.
Sorry, what's his name again?
Jens Voigt. Well, you mentioned it already, 17 times in the tour, multiple stage winner. You got to wear the yellow jersey a couple of times as well too. 5-time winner of the Criterium International. And of course now a Trek ambassador. We're super pleased to have you here in the new Trek store. Happy to have all of you guys. So welcome, Jens.
Thanks for having me.
At the beginning, your challenge was to ask a question that he's probably never heard before.
It could be music, movies, books, hobbies, whatever you want.
What makes you blush?
Of course.
What
First
makes
thing
you
you can
blush?
ask questions you need to know. First thing you ask questions you want to know, right? Yes?
What makes you blush?
Blush? Good question. And here's one that actually made me blush in reverse, like behind the time. So our dog, our first dog, is called Linda, the chocolate brown lab, right? And often I used to refer to the term, it's Linda time. So that's when I walk the dog at night, right? And apparently, many, many years, people understood Linda as my wife, and Linda time was when we are grown up together. So one day, like an event like this, somebody came and said, "Hey Jens, you're really letting the fans into your life." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he explained me the story that he saw Linda as my wife, and Linda time is, and then I blushed.